Hey guys, I wanted to make a video more for a documentation of kind of my rabbit hole that I've been going down lately. Um, so follow with me if you'd like. For a long time, I've followed the goings on of the world, and you have to look at the left side, the right side, and kind of like a pendulum, you have to land in the middle with the information that you're given and then kind of see through what they're trying to tell you. And on this subject, fix this. On this subject, I'm not saying I'm right, I'm not saying I'm wrong. This is just something that I want to make a YouTube video about just to document, because if something does happen, it'll be very interesting. So, for a while, we can recognize whether we're on the left side or the right side, which I want to say and I want to make very clear. I am neither left wing nor right wing. I have my freedoms, my rights, my liberties. I want people to leave me alone, and I don't need a side to tell me which one. I don't need it dosed to me. So I am neither left nor right. I just want to be left alone. So let's get that clear first. So this is not an attack on the left. This is not an attack on the right. This is my mind working to get a thought out and basically document it. And if you guys want to go along with the ride, great, because I think it's kind of interesting. So we have had Trump as president. Today marks 1,104 days. I know that because I looked it up. I don't know it otherwise. I don't keep track, but I would encourage you to not use Google, use DuckDuckGo, because they don't track your every move and log it and everything. So see how many days he's been in office. But I can tell you that it's been 1,104 days. So that's including the leap year and everything like that. So my thought process on this whole thing, with the world basically burning right now, we have the impeachment hearings that they're throwing in front of us, which Bolton just came forward and with a bunch of new stuff basically against Trump. So that'll be interesting. We have Australia that's on fire. We have obviously the headline. By the way, today is Wednesday, I believe the 28th of January, 2020. There's obviously the hugest thing is the coronavirus pandemic that's spreading everywhere, and airplanes are spreading that with people to all across the world, basically. You have the beginning of 2020, which brought us potential war with Iran, which we all know that Iran has a lot of interesting allies on their side. So you look at the biblical aspect of that, that's interesting. You have this new technology that's coming about, and this year we're definitely going to see the implementation of it, which is 5G, which is a network that's going to control the Internet of Things. It's going to control autonomous vehicles, machinery. It uses a new frequency that hasn't been tested very well. It's been known to compromise immune systems and have different effects in lab rats and stuff like that. So that's an interesting thing. Musk is launching satellites into low Earth orbit to create constellations that can communicate instantaneously. So that's different. You have, in the last, yesterday there was a 7.7 earthquake in Jamaica, followed by a 6.4 today in that same region. Last week, the Aleutian Islands were hit by a large chain of earthquakes, which were in the mid sixes and upwards. So we have a lot of earthquakes and just a lot of devastation going on in the world. And it seems like at an accelerated rate from what I can see. We always have that stuff, but it just seems like in the last month, it's been super accelerated. So hear me out on this. So that kind of gives you a rundown. So hear me out on this next part. And this is just a rabbit hole that I decided to go down. Like I said, I don't think it's right. I don't think it's wrong. I just want to get it out there. Trump has been in office for 1,104 days. Biblically speaking, and I'm going to get into the Bible here, and I'm just going to say this very clearly, I am not a scholar of the Bible. I haven't studied the Bible. I know enough about the Bible that I can put a thought together, but I'm not trying to preach to you. So if you don't believe in God, I respect that part about you. If you do believe in God, maybe you'll find this interesting. Even if you don't believe in God, maybe you'll find this interesting. I don't know. But just follow me on this, because I'm going to do the best I can with the knowledge that I have and let you guys absorb it. So he's been in office for 1,104 days today. Biblically speaking, the reign of the Antichrist that they tell us about is 7 years. And basically what it is, it's going to be, what they tell us is 3.5 years of tribulation, from what I can interpret, and maybe this is wrong, but 3.5 years of good, followed by 3.5 years, which is the Great Tribulation, is what I'm getting out of this, that's going to be just absolute chaos and craziness. So if you put these timelines together and you start really thinking about what's going on in the world and how all of those things that I just outlined, this new technology, the plagues, the fires, I mean, everything is basically summed up in Revelations. So you start putting this timeline together of Trump's presidency, his impeachment, and then I'll follow up with a little bit of background of where everything lands. So you take a look and go, well, 3.5 years of good, 3.5 years of bad. 3.5 years of Donald Trump's presidency lands us at 1,260 days. That's 3.5 years. And if you take 3.5 years, 1,260 days from today, well, not from today, from the day he was elected, that puts you at July 3rd, 2020, which is the observed Independence Day, which is a very, very interesting thing, because I might lose some people here, but TV, movies, everything are programming and conditioning us for certain things. And I know just saying the words Independence Day, a lot of people reference movies and all the dramatic things that happen during Independence Day. So it's very, very interesting, and just the relevance and just the meaning of Independence Day itself. So you look at 1,260 days falls on the observed Independence Day for the United States. And that's also the day, 1260, that Donald Trump would have been president, or will be president. So here's the other ironic part, is Donald Trump, if you Google, I wouldn't Google, if you DuckDuckGo search, because like I said, DuckDuckGo is way better than Google, but use whatever you want. Mount Rushmore. Mount Rushmore was basically built, and if you research it, it was called the Shrine of Democracy. And it has Washington, Lincoln, Jefferson, and Roosevelt. And basically, it was recognized as the birth of democracy and the growth of the United States. And on Independence Day 2020, Trump is going to be at Mount Rushmore, or according to everything that I've researched, and he's going to have a huge 4th of July Independence Day celebration there, with fireworks and all this stuff. So it's very, very interesting how all this stuff, if you start to put it together, kind of correlates into each other. So I would just say, with the world on fire and all these biblical things happening, be aware of that date, July 3rd, July 4th, 2020, as far as what's going on. I don't want to be right. I just want to document this, because if on the Independence Day weekend, July 3rd or 4th, we see something happen where we have a change of power or something dramatic happens, I think we really need to start looking at things differently. I guess that's the most middle ground way I can say that. So I hope you guys follow what I'm saying here. I hope I'm wrong, but with, like I said, with everything going on in the world today, you just don't know. So I'm not trying to. I don't know. I think you guys know what I'm saying. So here it is. It's documented. That was my rabbit hole that I went down. I just want to throw it out there for other people to think about. People will say, well, this has happened forever. We've always had earthquakes. We've always had wars. We've always had this and that. I feel like the world is spinning at an accelerated rate right now that is biblical. So I hope you guys enjoyed what I had to say, and if you did, leave it down in the comments and let me know what you think. I'd love to hear it. Like I said, I'm in no way that knowledgeable about biblical things. I try to keep current with the events that are going on and look at every aspect of it, right wing, left wing, in the middle, and just kind of the darker side, the brighter side, wherever it lands. And you just kind of have to start piecing things together and realize that, like, when the writing's on the wall, you have to read it. So I hope this helps some of you. I'm going to put a kind of a creative title in this just so hopefully I can get some people to view it and get some comments, because I would love to hear what you guys have to say. So a little bit of a different video from my normal stuff of vans and off-road trucks for sale and stuff like that. I had to get it out so that way it could be documented. So thanks for listening. Have a good one.